Greetings, my name is Alexis. I'm a 33-year-old woman and I've recently been through a whirlwind of events. I describe myself as somewhat naive, often missing the red flags that are right in front of me. This trait played a big role in the story I'm about to share with you. Thankfully, I have incredible people in my life who stand by me when I can't defend myself. But before I delve into the details, let me introduce you to a couple of significant people from my past, my ex-husband Kevin and my former best friend, Hannah. Hannah and I have known each other since high school. I was the quintessential introverted nerd, and Hannah was the standout beauty of our school, seemingly uncomfortable with the attention she attracted, though I suspect she enjoyed it more than she let on. For some reason, she took a liking to me, and we started spending a lot of time together after school. Our friendship grew stronger, and even though we attended different colleges, we stayed connected and visited each other regularly. After graduation, we both moved back to our hometown and resumed our close-knit friendship, meeting almost daily. Kevin came into my life when I was 23, introduced to me by a mutual friend. We hit it off immediately, drawn together by his vibrant personality and infectious laughter. I've always prioritized personality over looks, having been around enough attractive people to know that appearances can be deceiving. Kevin and I dated for 3.5 years before we decided to get married. Our wedding was a joyful celebration, and despite the marriage not lasting, it remains a cherished memory, especially since I got to share the day with both Kevin and Hannah by my side. I remember feeling overjoyed that Hannah seemed to approve of Kevin. She made a noticeable effort to get to know him better from the moment I introduced them. One evening after we all spent time together, I asked her about her newfound enthusiasm. "What's with the sudden interest in someone I'm dating?" I inquired. "What are you talking about?" she responded, playing coy. "You know what I mean. You actually made an effort to ask him thoughtful questions and get to know him." I hadn't even brought it up yet when she teased me, saying, "Can you blame me? Just look at him. You snagged a real looker. Oh, should I be worried you might try to steal him away from me?" "No, I'm just joking around," she laughed, but then added seriously, "But honestly, he is quite handsome. And what's more, he's got a great personality. You know, to be honest, it's not even his looks that draw me in. It's his personality," I confessed. "He's just so charming and easy to be around. For me, his looks are just a bonus." "Wow, that must be why he's so into you. If I were in your shoes, his personality wouldn't even matter," she joked. At the time, I didn't think much of it. I was just happy that she approved of my new relationship. As time went on, Hannah's friendship with Kevin only seemed to grow stronger. They got along wonderfully, which always filled my heart with joy. I loved seeing them get along, especially since Hannah hadn't really liked anyone I dated before. Kevin, Hannah, and I would often hang out together, and after Kevin and I moved in together 3 years into our relationship, Hannah was frequently at our house. It never bothered me. Kevin appeared to enjoy her company, so I never made an issue of it. There were times I'd come home from a long day at work to find Hannah and Kevin relaxing together on our couch, watching a show. They were quite physically affectionate with each other, but again, I didn't see it as a problem. I'm a very affectionate person myself and always appreciated having friends who were the same. I'm sharing all this to express just how blindsided I was by what I eventually discovered. This was about 6 months after Kevin and I had gotten married. It was a typical day. I came home late from work due to a major project. Seeing Hannah's car in the parking lot, I felt glad she was there. Because I knew Hannah often made up for her frequent visits by cooking for us, and I was particularly hungry that day, I was looking forward to a warm meal. When I entered our home, I was met with an unusual darkness. Normally, there would be at least a flicker of light from the TV, but not that day. Instead, a sliver of light peeked from beneath our bedroom door, sparking confusion. We rarely used our bedroom as a hangout spot unless all three of us were present. Despite my confusion, my trust in them was so deep that it didn't even cross my mind that they could be betraying me. Expecting perhaps that they had dozed off while waiting for me, I gently opened the bedroom door. What I saw stopped me cold. There they were, not just asleep, but in an intimate moment. I stood frozen, unable to process the scene before me. All I could feel was a sickening rise in my throat and a heavy drop in my stomach. I can't recall how I managed to close the door or how long I sat in the living room numb to my core. Reality only hit when Hannah, stepping out of the bedroom, exclaimed in surprise at seeing me, "Oh, you're back, Alexis. Tough day at work?" "Yeah, what were you guys doing in there?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. "Oh, nothing much, just took a nap," she replied casually. "How long have you been back?" she asked, trying to change the subject. "Don't worry about that. I saw you both in the bedroom," I said, my voice breaking. "Listen, Alexis, it's not what you think. It's not like your best friend and husband are betraying you," she stammered, but her words were hollow. "I'm sorry, it just happened. You're always at work, and I guess Kevin and I just got lonely," Hannah tried to explain. "Yeah, and I mean, we're super grateful for all that you do, especially since you're the main earner here, but maybe we got a little too lonely," Kevin added. Hearing them try to justify their actions only worsened the sting of betrayal. "I can't deal with this right now," I said, barely able to hold back my emotions. Listening to their apologies felt like salt in an open wound. They were sorry, but the damage was done. Despite their attempts to apologize, their tone lacked any real remorse, and their expressions revealed nothing but convenience. It seemed their kindness was fueled by my financial support, a painful realization that made staying there any longer unbearable. The thought of breaking down in front of them was not an option. I couldn't let them see just how deeply they had hurt me. In a bid to escape the suffocating atmosphere, I got into my car and drove aimlessly, eventually stopping to grab some food. My appetite had vanished, but I felt a hollow emptiness that I hoped to fill with something, anything. I ate until I was uncomfortably full, then drove to my mother's house 3 hours away. Arriving close to midnight, I found solace in her surprised but welcoming presence. She could sense something was wrong as she made us warm cocoa, her gentle care a stark contrast to the cold betrayal I had just experienced. We sat in silence, the kind that only a mother and daughter can share before she finally spoke. "I don't hate that you're here, but clearly something's very wrong. Take your time, darling. If you want to talk about it, I'm here," she offered softly. "Yes, I need to talk about it. Maybe it'll help me process everything," I replied, the words tumbling out in a rush. "I walked in on Kevin and Hannah today, in our bedroom." Her face fell, mirroring the shock I felt. "Oh, sweetie, I'm so sorry. Did you come here right after finding out?" I didn't talk to them. I told them I knew and walked out before I had to listen to any more of their excuses. I explained, my voice tinged with bitterness. "That's probably for the best." "They didn't seem genuinely sorry, did they?" she asked, already knowing the answer. It explains why Hannah was so overly friendly with Kevin. I knew she found him attractive, and I know she's attractive herself, but I never expected them to act on it, I confessed, the betrayal still fresh. "I understand, sweetheart. It's a tough situation, but how you handle this will truly set you apart from them. They've shown their true colors. What you do next is important. Is it bad that I just walked away?" I asked, seeking her wise counsel in navigating the heartbreak. I found myself contemplating giving Kevin another chance, not because I fully trusted him again, but because I was reluctant to label my first marriage a failure. "Look, I'm not fond of that reasoning, but as your mother, I must support you in whatever decision you make. Do what you feel is right," my mom advised gently, even though she didn't agree with my logic. "Thanks, Mom," I replied, knowing deep down my rationale was flawed. Why was I considering reconciling with Kevin but not Hannah? After all, both were equally involved in the affair. It wasn't as if one was more culpable than the other. At that moment, I suppose I clung to the hope that Kevin still loved me. Yet, in my heart, I knew forgiveness was unlikely. Maybe therapy could help us, I thought. As for Hannah, she had been my best friend since high school. I knew her flaws well, and despite them, I had always stood by her until now. Her betrayal was a line crossed. Her blatant attraction to Kevin, which I had previously dismissed, now seemed like a glaring warning I had ignored. Our friendship, rich in history, couldn't withstand this. I spent the next 4 days at my mom's house, avoiding calls and texts from Kevin and Hannah. It seemed Hannah had spoken to our mutual friends as they too began reaching out. I took a week off work to ensure no professional obligations would force me back into immediate contact with them. When I finally felt ready to return home, my mom wished me luck. After a heartfelt goodbye, I drove back, deliberately slow, dreading the confrontation that awaited. As I pulled up, I saw Hannah's car still parked where it had been days ago. My anxiety quickly morphed into anger. How could she still be there after everything? Were they still together during my absence? How little did they regard my feelings? Each thought was a blow to my composure. Taking deep breaths to manage my rage, I prepared myself to face whatever lay inside my apartment. For some reason, I felt a strong urge to document everything that was about to unfold. So I set my phone to record and slipped it into my pocket as I entered the house. What I saw next only fueled my resolve. Kevin and Hannah were cuddled up on the couch, lost in some show. They startled as I walked in. Kevin sprang up and moved towards me, attempting to embrace me, but I pushed his hands away. He looked wounded, while Hannah avoided my gaze altogether. "I'm giving you exactly 5 minutes to explain yourselves," I declared, my voice steady despite the turmoil inside. "After that, I want Hannah out," Kevin started. "I'm so sorry you had to see that." "Sorry I caught you, or sorry you were together?" I interrupted sharply. "So what are you sorry for, really? That you got caught?" Hannah finally spoke up. "I'm sorry, Alexis, but Kevin and I are in love. We're not sorry for being together." "So what are you sorry for then? You've had eyes for him since day one. I should have seen it coming, but I trusted you," I shot back. Kevin chimed in. "I've had feelings for her from the start too. Then why stay with me? You should have just spared me this pain and been together from the start." "We didn't want to lose you," Kevin tried to explain. "And you thought having an affair behind my back wouldn't make you lose me. Do you hear how that sounds?" I was incredulous. "I don't know what else to say, Alexis. I love her, and I can't hide it anymore." "I've been meaning to talk to you about a divorce," Kevin admitted, his voice faltering. "A divorce? We've only been married 6 months. How long has this been going on?" "We've been together for about a year. I've wanted a divorce almost since we got married. I just felt bad about marrying you and then leaving," Kevin confessed. "So, you never intended to work things out with us?" I asked, the reality sinking in. Hannah added another shock. "I'm pregnant, Alexis. Am I supposed to be happy for you?" "We dreamed of raising kids, but that was before you betrayed me," I snapped, feeling a cold finality setting in. "Don't be like that, Alexis. We wanted to wait for you to come back to tell you that we're getting married next month," Hannah said, almost pleadingly. "Before you say anything, all our stuff is packed," Kevin added, indicating a pile of boxes. This was the ultimate betrayal, not just of a marriage, but of a friendship I thought would last a lifetime. Kevin's next words hung heavily in the air. "We'll be out of your place soon. Alexis, I still think of you as my best friend. Please, consider coming to the wedding if you can." The irony of his request only fueled my anger. "Go to hell, both of you," I blurted out, surprised by the harshness of my voice. But they had pushed me to my breaking point. Each sentence they uttered felt like another blow, undermining the years we had shared. They had deceived me for over a year. rendering all my efforts to salvage our relationship meaningless. Hannah's audacity to still consider me a friend and even invite me to her wedding was beyond infuriating. At that moment, all I wanted was to lash out at something, anything. I watched them cling to each other, a bitter reminder of their betrayal. If only Kevin had been honest earlier, I could have stepped aside graciously. Why drag me through such pain? Overwhelmed, I retreated to the bedroom and locked myself in. The exhaustion from the drive and the draining confrontation left me too tired to even cry. I collapsed into a restless sleep. When I awoke the next morning, the apartment was eerily quiet. Walking out of the bedroom, I found it empty except for my things. The stark emptiness was a harsh finality to what had been my life with them. Gratefully, my landlord showed compassion, allowing me to break my lease without issue. I decided it was best to move back in with my mom. It felt like a step back, but I needed the emotional support now more than ever. The two people I had trusted most had betrayed me deeply. As I settled back into my old room, the familiarity of my childhood home brought a small comfort. I sought therapy and immersed myself in my work, trying to mend the pieces of my broken heart. As the days turned into years, the sharpness of the pain dulled. I focused on my career, and my efforts paid off with a significant promotion at work. This achievement marked a new chapter in my life, one where I finally began to heal and rebuild away from the shadows of betrayal. As time passed, I had grown professionally and was financially better off than before, but interactions with mutual friends occasionally reopened old wounds. Despite this, my mom had been an incredible support system, insisting I live with her, which I did. Then, one unexpected day, I received a call from Kevin's mom, Judy. I was both confused and concerned about why she would call me. We had only met a few times, but she had always seemed kind. With some hesitation, I answered the call. "Hello, Alexis? Yes, this is Judy, Kevin's mom." "Yes, I know. I have your contact saved. How are things?" "Well, it's okay. Why? Is everything all right?" "No, not really. I only just found out about what Kevin did to you. I'm sorry it took me so long to reach out. I just wanted to let you know that I am in no way on his side." "Oh, it's been a while since that happened. Thanks for calling, though. I appreciate it." "Yes, and I want to make up for it. How do you feel about getting some revenge on Kevin and Hannah?" "Revenge? Don't you think it's a little too late for that?" "Oh, honey, are you still not hurting? It's never too late to teach people a lesson who wronged you." "You're right. What they did still haunts me. I haven't made any solid friendships yet, nor have I even tried to date anyone since. They deserve to be held accountable." "Great, because I have a plan," Judy began, revealing more about her life. She had remarried a wealthy businessman who, unbeknownst to her, had been supporting Kevin by giving him a job in his company. Kevin and Hannah had been struggling financially since our divorce, and Judy was under the impression that Kevin and I had amicably parted ways, and that Hannah was merely a supportive friend who eventually became a romantic partner. Judy had only recently discovered the truth about their relationship and the real reason behind our divorce. She felt deceived by Kevin's lies and was now eager to set things right, or at least make them face some consequences for their actions. Judy found out the truth about what Kevin and Hannah had done to me during an outing where Hannah, perhaps loosened by a few drinks, divulged the details of their affair. Judy was horrified by the revelations and immediately contacted me, which comforted me greatly. Despite Kevin and Hannah's marriage, they were struggling, which somehow felt like a small justice to me. Judy then inquired if I had any proof of their betrayal. I confirmed that I had recorded our confrontation, capturing their admissions. She asked me to send her the recording and promised to handle things from there. The fallout was swift. Within 2 weeks, Kevin called me, an interaction I hadn't anticipated after 4 years of silence. "What did you do?" Kevin demanded as soon as I answered. Hello to you too, I replied, trying to keep my tone light despite his aggression. Don't be sarcastic with me right now. You got me fired and disowned all at once. Oh, is that why your mom called me? Do you mean the recording of our conversation that you knew about? What kind of freak keeps something like that? Not as much of a freak as you, apparently, I countered. How did you even get fired? My stepdad values morals and ethics highly. Once he heard the recording, he wanted nothing to do with me, and neither did my mom. That's tough. It's been 4 years, Kevin. You couldn't let it go. Had to ruin everything for me, right? I didn't do any of that. Hannah went drinking with your mom and spilled everything. Blame your wife, not me, but I'm glad you got what you deserved. Enjoy your life, Kevin. With that, I hung up. I was astounded by Judy's actions. She had truly taken my side, going as far as to ensure her husband publicly shamed Kevin to underline the consequences of his actions. I called Judy to thank her for her support, and during our conversation, she mentioned how her husband had made it a point to denounce Kevin in front of all his staff, ensuring he felt the full weight of his humiliation. Knowing this brought a sense of vindication. It reassured me that no matter how much someone tries to wrong you, eventually their actions catch up with them. Later, Judy shared with me that Kevin and Hannah had a massive fallout after he found out it was Hannah who had inadvertently revealed their secrets. They were now living separately. Whatever their future holds, I feel they brought it upon themselves. Amidst all the turmoil, a silver lining emerged. I gained the unwavering support of 2 remarkably strong women, my mother and my ex-mother-in-law. These relationships have become a source of strength and comfort for me, and I am eager to see how they will continue to grow. I look forward to what the future holds, knowing that with the support of these incredible women, I can face anything.